yeah, just I didn't think it was healthy. So yeah, I think I stayed off for like 4 months or something like that. And then I got back into it slowly.
Bro, that's hectic.
Are you ready?
How are you boys feeling? This chair is very squeaky.
Is it?
But how are you guys feeling, eh?
Not too bad. Today's a bit rough.
Not
Yeah,
that I'm
long day.
very hungover.
Yeah.
Last night.
Same. Can still feel it going a little bit.
Yes, last night was a bit of a hectic one for the right reasons though, but good.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, welcome back to Hectic. My name is Jordan Burrs. I'll be your host for today. My two co-hosts, Malcolm van Seligem and Zander Talliard, will obviously bring the chats. Today we've got, I feel like I'm saying this every episode, today we have a big guest.
Yeah.
Probably our biggest guest so far.
Yes, 100%.
And if you haven't checked out Sipo's last episode, please go check that out for the bodybuilding. And please subscribe, that would be great. Yeah, boys, like I said, not feeling 100%. Not just because of last night, but have you been seeing that these rugby games, these Rugby World Cup games have been getting cancelled game after game because of what? A typhoon?
Yeah, typhoon.
Do you know the difference between a typhoon and a
So,
hurricane?
yeah.
What's
Typhoon
on
and a hurricane. So, well, main difference from what I understand, I should probably fact check it, but is clearly it's only what sea it comes from. So that North Pacific Sea causes typhoons. I don't know actually, but that's from what I understand. And then we have hurricanes off our coast, and like hurricanes come onto like Mexico and stuff like that. Those aren't typhoons; those are hurricanes.
Grade 12 geography, right? Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Nice, boys. Have you guys seen what's happening on Saturday in the running world? So obviously I'm doing this half Ironman, but this guy's attempting to break the 2-hour barrier for a marathon.
What?
42 kilometers. That is 2 minutes 51 seconds a kilometer.
Oh, wow.
2 minutes 51 seconds a kilometer.
Bro, he's running 14 miles an hour.
Wow.
That is, what's that in kilometers an hour?
Like 24, somewhere there.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. That should not be humanly possible.
No.
Boys, but I think I'm going to bring on the guest, and then I've got a little riddle. I was going to do it before, but I think Hope might have a cool answer for this.
Okay.
I just dropped his name, but anyway, today's guest is a world-renowned dancer and choreographer. He's performed in the musical Singing in the Rain. He's building an empire brick by brick, and some say that there's no country he hasn't visited. He sees things that no one else can see, and he's kissed the Queen of England on the mouth. It's Hope Money Money.
What an intro. Jeez.
That's my job, man.
Yeah, you should like come with me on tour and then just introduce me every time.
Easy, bro. Yeah, you just got to add the one random thing in. Then
Love absolute rubbish thing.
So I think let's hit the riddle and then maybe do the gift shelf.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at a quiz night on Wednesday. We came last, but anyway. There was this one question was a riddle.
Yeah.
So you had 30 seconds to like come up with the answer. The first team to come up with it, and then the rest of the teams have 30 seconds to then get it.
Yeah.
And there was like a 300 rand bar tab on the line, so it was quite intense.
Oh, jeez.
So there are a certain number of flowers and bees.
Yeah.
When each bee sits on a flower, there is one more bee than flower. But when 2 bees sit on each flower, there's one more flower than there are bees. No, there's one flower open, basically. So how many bees and flowers are there? I'm just going to...
Can we ask for a repeat? Just one more
Okay,
time.
so
Yeah.
That was very
flowers,
That was like AP Maths.
Yeah.
there's
took me
flowers and there's bees. When a bee sits on each flower, there's one bee that doesn't have a flower. When 2 bees sit on each flower, there's one flower open. How many bees and how many flowers are there?
3 flowers, 2 bees. 3 bees, 2 flowers.
No.
Well, that thing's wrong.
That was the confidence.
4 bees, 3 flowers.
4 bees, 3 flowers.
And the guys who got this one
that's actually true.
on Wednesday.
That's actually true.
In 10 seconds. I know it's true, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's jump into the gift shelf. Maybe the riddle gets cut. Not the greatest piece of content we've ever delivered. But, Mark, I don't know, you the gift shelf master. I don't know if you want to...
Well, yeah, so every guest that we've had so far, including ourselves, so in the first episode, we each brought a little gift for the shelf. And then every guest we've had on so far have brought their own gift. And it's just kind of, you know, something that represents you in some way, or basically just to remind us that you came on. And we just want to see what
I brought.
what you brought.
Well, I bought a lot of things.
Okay.
Mainly me, but okay. So because I'm extra and I'm that kind of guy that just goes above and beyond, I bought 2. I don't want to say all your other guests didn't bring 2, but they didn't. One of you guys bought 2, and I'm not going to give you 2 guesses who that is. So like, this is basically like a dancing situation from myself.
Okay.
I could have got me engraved, but that took a lot of time. And Jordan kind of gave me only 7 days to get this together. So I couldn't actually get that done. But the other one is pretty much, and this is one of my favorite things. I have about 12 of these. For real. It's a stress ball, number 1, because 1, when I get super stressed, I like to just play with it. But number 2, it always reminds me to keep the vision strong. That like, the whole entire plan is a global plan as opposed to a South African plan, if that makes sense. So it's basically a stress ball, but it's a global map at the same time. And this keeps my head in the game. Like, I buy these all the time and I travel with them all the time. And it keeps me pretty much on focus the whole time. Keeps my tunnel vision alive. And yeah, from me to you guys, thanks so much for bringing me
Thank you very much
to the show.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah,
I love it.
I just want to point out again that was 2 gifts. Next week's guy or girl, if they don't come with 3, then they are 2 bees and 1 flower.
So like what you were saying with the globe, I actually want to get a tattoo of an astronaut sitting on a globe.
Oh, nice.
Just also like that same message, like keep dreaming big, sort of thing. Like I don't think any astronaut thought they were going to be on the moon.
Yeah.
When they were like 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
So,
very true.
so I can definitely resonate with that.
That's pretty dope. I might steal that one from you, to be honest. When's your date? When are you going
Where?
to get this?
To get this.
Soonish.
Okay.
It's quite expensive though, but
All right.
I'm trying
I'll
to
do
save
mine
up.
tomorrow. Then I can say, and I can say you copied me, that you came after me, that I had a great idea and you stole it.
I think this is a new segment we've got this week. It's called the 10 question quiz. I thought it'd be quite cool for you to answer, like it's very quick and snappy.
Come on.
10 questions.
Come on.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Jeez, really?
Always.
Okay.
Wait, can we go back to the Coke and Pepsi?
Pepsi. You choose
No.
Pepsi.
I know, but do you know what happened? This was about 5 or 6 years ago. I auditioned for a commercial, and Pepsi got me in to do the commercial. And then pretty much it meant that I actually can't do Coke commercials for the next 10 years. So now, by default, I have to say Pepsi every single time. But I do drink Coke. Hashtag don't tag Pepsi. Yeah.
I respect that. I can respect that.
Yeah, that's fair, fair.
Okay, this is easy. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Wine.
You know, I like to be bougie sometimes.
Okay. Morning or night person?
Night.
Night. What time do you wake up in the morning?
I wake up probably about between 6:30 and 7. And then I'll go to bed about between 1:30 and 2, I think. Like, I don't
So
sleep.
you basically just like every day, like normal, like not normal, but like morning and nights.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I wake up. I don't have an alarm. It's just I don't know. I think the sun does a certain thing at a certain time, and then when it's winter, my clock goes off. So in winter, like sometimes I'll wake up maybe 8:30 or 9:30, but I wake up because the sun is doing that thing where it slowly.
But how do you do that when like you travel so much?
The sun is everywhere in the world.
No, I'd say like one thing I've thought about is it's changed my perspective a little bit on like curtains. Like the whole idea of curtains is so that when the sun comes up, you don't get awoken by this bright sunlight. But if you think about it, that could be the most natural clock that
Wake
you
up
can
call.
have.
Yeah.
And that's just keeping your curtains open.
Yeah.
And you will wake up. Wow, quite interesting. I don't know. I've actually just been thinking about that like for the past week or so.
Rap or lyrical?
Yo, that's rough for me. That's a rough one for me. Why you gotta hit me like that? 5, hey? 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch me. Level up. I'll have to say rapirical.
Okay,
I bought 2 gifts. I get that one.
This is a big one. Triangles or jocks?
Jocks.
Nice. Does anyone wear triangles here?
No.
No.
I have in my cupboard, but no, don't do it to yourself.
I can't.
You know, Dylan wears triangles. Like, that's all he has.
That's all he has.
Yes.
No.
Now listen, hey.
No, I can't do it. From the time I put on my first jock, I don't think I ever worn another triangle.
Yeah, me too. I never went back.
I threw all of them away instantly.
No, I free willied for a few years. But
Wow.
Yeah, why not, eh?
why not? Yeah. I was like 10. Flying or driving?
Flying.
Sports or news?
Sports.
Really?
Yeah. Strange. No one knows this. Like, I used to play rugby proper, but like for real, I was scrum half, sorry. And then I'm being dead serious. I was in matric, and then this is how I actually started dancing. So I only started when I was 18. I was dating a girl. Her name was Amy Payne. Beautiful. She was my high school sweetheart. And then when I was 18, in the beginning of the year, played rugby through and through. Like, that was my thing. Like, I even captained for like a few games. Like, I was really, really passionate about it. And then Amy was like, I have a dance project at school. Can you come in and help me out? And I was like, not really my thing. No.
Yeah.
And she was like, if you want to be with me, you better make it your thing. And I was like, that's called blackmail, but I'm not going to get into that. And then I helped out with the project, and then that led to like another project she was doing. And then that brought me on like into dance properly.
Wow.
But for real, like before that, I was purely playing rugby the whole time. All the time.
Was it like a thing where you like try dance for the first time and you were like, wow?
No.
Or you know, kept it going for a little bit and eventually realized like, you know, this is really what you enjoy doing?
I think as opportunities came.
Yeah.
And then those opportunities kept coming, and then after a while I started seeing that maybe I could do this because like people kind of like what I'm doing in this. So I was helping Amy out with the dance project, and then for that project, it was just lifting people from one side to the other side. So she had like about 3 or 4 girls that were like super tiny and light. So I just had to lift them from one side to the other side, and that was that. And to me, it wasn't really dancing. I was just lifting somebody in place. And then the next one she did, she's like, can you help me out again? But this time I'm going to give you a little bit of choreography. And then I think there was a ballet teacher who saw me in that one, and then they offered me like a scholarship to their school. And then when I was at their school, there was another place called Waterfront Theatre School that then offers me a scholarship because they saw me in that. So it kind of like opportunity came, and then after a while you were like, I feel like this is where everything's heading, so I might as well. And then passion starts growing, and then that's how it all started.
Crazy. Yeah, that is a crazy story. Because what I was going to say was, you realize that, not to make you feel like a douchebag or anything, but people worked like through their high school, through their primary school, and aren't, you know what I mean? But that like, it just makes you realize kind of the chances that you got were so perfect.
And perfect timing also.
Yeah, exactly. And if everything hadn't lined up exactly like it did, you obviously wouldn't be...
Definitely.
You know,
definitely. I like, every single time it's Amy's birthday, I always message her saying that like, thank you so much because my life completely changed purely because you were like, you need to come do this project with me. Because like, if I said no and I was like, no, I'm not doing it, and I stood to that, or I stuck to that, then I don't know if I'd be even right here where I am right now. Then so like everything happened in its perfect way.
That's crazy.
Keep an open mind, take opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what we do now.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
McDonald's or KFC?
KFC.
Really?
I know.
You're lucky his girlfriend isn't here. She normally sits on that couch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
If she could get sponsored by McDonald's, I think like...
She would be set for life. She would die in about 2.5 years. 100%.
Literally.
Solid.
So, do you remember when you and I met?
Not exactly. I know you were a lot smaller. Now you're like jock number 10. Like, now you're like, I saw you, literally, like, because I haven't seen you in about a year before I saw you. And I was like, wow, what is a whole muscle walking doing? You are like,
wood just
like, what are those muscles doing on a head? Like,
So, watch out.
like, where's that boy's body? Like, it's just like pure. Like, never like, you look like, you come a boyki.
Trying to lose weight now, but... we're at a dance, I think it was at Tux, and you and Joe were like rehearsing this duo you guys were going to do like
snap,
like an hour before the thing.
Snap,
and that's when I met you.
that was when I was still crazy, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's why I digged you so much.
So what happened was I got to this one dance competition and I was like just super chilled and I was just going to watch, and then Joanne Liebenberg, a friend of mine, bless her soul, she's on the cruise now, doing great things, and like she's really doing well for her life right now. Her partner dropped out last minute at the actual competition, and they were supposed to dance in about an hour. And I was like, girl, I'm here. Let's go.
Oh, so you were keen to do it?
I was super keen. But like, it started off as a joke. And then she was like, are you serious? But when she said, I'm serious, I was like, you would never ask if you were serious if you didn't think I was serious.
Yeah.
So this might actually work. And then we dove into it, man. We like started working an hour before the comp. We started working, started getting into it. And then I was wearing jeans. I just took off my top. She just took her like shorts. And then we went on and did the thing. Quickly, choreographed it.
Did you guys end up there?
I think we came first. In the adult section, yeah.
Of course.
Easy.
Yeah.
No,
how
but
it
that's
happens.
because Joanne is amazing.
No, she's
like she is. You must see this girl. She technique for days, beautiful, everything of
See how
hers.
high she can jump.
Yeah. Yo, she's like a spinning book number 5.
Yeah. I had a question.
Come on.
Come on, it's coming. It's coming back. So obviously, like, you're a great dancer and stuff, but I think you enjoy choreography more.
Yeah.
I think, like, your choreography is like so off the wall.
Oh,
Like,
thanks,
how do you come up with when you guys danced in that fountain and like strings across the studio? And, like, where does all this madness come from?
I think that we all have a crazy side inside of us, and I think that all of us have ideas inside of us. I read a quote to say that the best place to find ideas that are just completely everywhere is a grave, because a lot of people don't act on their ideas. Similar to this, you guys are doing a freaking amazing podcast, and then like someone will see this, and then it'll lead, and then all of a sudden you'll be doing a studio. All of a sudden it'll be lead to this. But like, it starts with just a table, a podcast, a laptop, a microphone, and that's that. And it's just like, I think everyone has those ideas, but I don't think people act on those ideas. I was at Monte Casino having lunch with a friend of mine, and then right there was a fountain. All I did was just email Monte Casino, and I was like, listen, can we do a dance in your fountain? If it's a no, it's a no. If it's a yes, it's a yes. They replied and said yes. That's all it was.
Didn't you sit outside?
Yeah.
Listen to this.
All right. So the fountain at Monte Casino works on a 23 minutes cycle. But within those 23 minutes, there's like a lot going on. But then that lot repeats again after 23 minutes.
Okay.
So to make sure that the dancers that were in the Academy SA were dancing at the perfect time, I had to sit through to watch the 23 minutes. But because the 23 minutes happens each 23 minutes, and we're only dancing for
3-4 minutes.
3-4 minutes. I had to sit, watch that 3-4 minutes, and then wait 23 minutes. Sit and watch that 3-4 minutes. Wait 23 minutes. I thought it would take me half a day to really get it, and because you're choreographing while you're watching the fountain also. Yeah. So you spend. I got to Monte Casino about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I thought to myself that okay, cool, I'll get coffee and I'll get breakfast, and I'll be out of here by 1 o'clock, and I'll have a choreograph by then. I was there until 8 p.m. From 7 in the morning until 8 p.m. choreographing that fountain piece by Monte Casino, because you had to wait. So you would choreograph it, but then if you missed something, then you had to wait 23 minutes. And if you missed something, you had to wait 23 minutes.
That
so
is
you couldn't,
on the verge of insanity, I must be honest.
I know. It is
It's
crazy.
been a long day.
Yeah. Plus, like, I do a lot of like my own music, so I had to make the music according to the fountain. Okay. So when the splashes happens, that's when the music. So when you're editing the music, also you got to wait until. So you edit the music, and then you wait 23 minutes to test it out with that, and then you realize that that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, and then you re-edit, wait 23 minutes, test it out again. So it was a long, long day.
Apologies, I haven't seen it, but I definitely will be looking at that.
Sure,
but then he also like puts like I would want to say hundreds of strings like across the like studio, and like blankets and sheets and stuff. And then how long is that dance class? Like an hour?
Yeah, it's just a class. So just an hour class.
And what do other people like have to say about that?
That's why it's so popular, bro.
Yeah.
Popular and unpopular.
Yeah, popular and unpopular, which is it comes with it. Like Elon Musk, the guy who's like created Tesla, like he has people that are all for it, and he also has people that are totally not for it. So like it comes with it. Whenever you create anything new, there'll be people watching this podcast looking at you guys and be like, how dare they make a part? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like it comes with whenever you create something of your own, there are people who love it because they love the initiative and it's something they're looking for, and there are people who don't like it because it's almost threatens what they have, if that makes sense.
And I feel like people are hating on you doing something right. Like you make them think something or feel something.
Yeah.
So
what
are your motivators?
One of our big like inspirations is Logan Paul on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think when was it? He went on TV or something, And then his point about being interviewed, and it was like Fox News or something like that. The point of him being interviewed, or the point that he wanted to get across, was to just make as many people want to watch that interview. So he would say like the most ridiculous things.
Yeah.
And afterwards, then I think he went on one of his podcasts, and I think one of his friends asked him like, "What on earth were you saying on these these interviews?" And he was like, "That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
People are gonna now watch that.
Yeah.
And even if the most ridiculous thing that he says was like, the people that hate what he says or that are laughing at him are also retweeting, tagging, and he's just getting his face spread out on the internet.
Yeah.
How is that a negative thing at all?
Yeah.
Especially in like the way that he's done it specifically.
That's something that I never try to. Well, now they'll know because now I'm saying it out. But I always try to I love the hate because the most people that watch your stuff are the people they're like, look at that, he even did that, and then he did that, and then he did that, and you're like, that was 4 views, thank you. That was 4 views just from you. And like when they tell people like, watch this, how dare he? I was like, you're sharing the work. That's like you're pushing the brand.
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're pushing it out. Yeah.
I think this might be a good lead into another question I have, but I'm going to rope Zanz in on this one. Sorry, didn't give you any warning about this.
No, that's fine.
But I've like heard on a lot of separate podcasts about like the negative influences from Instagram, and so Zander, I think it was last year, went on like beginning of this year, went on like a 3-4 month.
No social media.
Instagram cleanse, if you want to call it that. Yeah. So, first of all, Zanz, I want you to explain the idea behind that, and then I want your opinion on, like, obviously you creating such positive, what do you call it, like, content.
Oh, cheers.
But how do you, like, what would you say to someone else that, is maybe struggling a bit like mentally or something like that.
Yeah.
And they are finding themselves on Instagram. And Instagram is the problem. It's causing, their depression or their anxiety because they see other people, for example, driving a Lamborghini. I might never drive a Lamborghini and that now makes me sad.
Yeah.
So, just... sit on that a little bit.
It's a huge topic.
Yeah, listen to what Zander had behind this.
Yeah.
And also, where did you first hear about the idea of
Okay, so I did it for a couple of reasons, but how it kind of started was you guys know Steph, one of our friends. She just decided no more social media. It wasn't helping her out. So I was like, you know what? That's actually it makes sense. I saw a Casey Neistat vlog and. I just got thinking about it and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot because I wasn't feeling great about myself at that point and many contributing factors, but whatever. So I just deleted Instagram from my phone, the app, not my accounts, obviously. Also I did it because I found myself getting trapped on Instagram. So I'd be scrolling, wasting time when I could be doing something productive. And I didn't think it was healthy. I think I stayed off for 4 months or something like that. And then I got back into it slowly. It did feel like I was out of the loop at some point, so keeping in touch with your friends who you haven't seen in a while, it's necessary, it's worth it. I do feel like it helped me out because I started realizing that what people are putting on their Instagram isn't everything you see in their lives.
Yeah.
We all know it's not.
Yeah.
But it's hard to realize that when you're looking at that picture or that story.
That's the last thing.
Yeah, that's the last thing you're thinking about. You start inspecting yourself wow, why can't I, be here doing that? And it gets you down at some points. But I think what I realized was you can't live your whole life like that. You can't base your happiness on other people's projections of their lives. That's not what their life is actually like.
Yeah, because it's actually these clean cut out little squares a lot of the time.
It's perfect, you control everything about your Instagram page. And whilst that's really nice, it kind of gives the wrong impression to other people. But I think it was necessary for me to do it, but I'm glad I did it and I'm back on Instagram now obviously and I'm not thinking about stopping anytime soon. It's full on addictions back.
It's quite cool how you two are probably opposite to that. Like Instagram is your like business, it's your livelihood.
Yeah.
Where like for people like, well, for now, until we get famous, it's not really like, we don't really depend on it to travel and stuff.
No, you can see there's definitely like, it's very necessary for some people, for sure. And like, don't get me wrong, it will like help you out in building a career and that, obviously. But where I was, where I was, it wasn't necessary for me, you know.
I think that's the key. You've got to look at where you are, like where you individually are, because like on the gram, we're all showing the best. I always say this: it's the best version of yourself. Yeah, exactly. It's like when you're dating someone in the first 2 or 3 weeks, you're seeing the best version of themselves. You're not seeing the weird stuff. They represent, and I think we just do it naturally as people. We always showcase when you're meeting somebody and you go to a job interview, you're showing the best version of yourself. So I think Instagram is one of those things where we see the best version of someone and not necessarily the actual truth of someone. And it's a catch-22 because like for someone like me who makes content for Instagram and then I get booked purely off of that, like majority of my tours, like I'll leave South Africa in January, I'll come back mid-February, and that's all on Instagram. Literally, like, so I'll create videos, people are like, oh my gosh, come to our country, and I'm like, okay, cool, get your dance teacher, let me know, and then we can set it up, and then dance teacher messages me on their school Instagram page, and then they bring me out, and then, like, everything gets booked, do you know what I mean? So they find flights, they bring me out, they pay me, but it's all off of Instagram. Like, you're able to connect with an audience, like, just like that, like, you know what I mean? So it's not like one of those things where we are saying, here's my email account, here's a link to my YouTube page, everything is right there. So they find you, they scroll once, and then they see almost everything that you create, and
it's basically like a modern day CV.
Yeah.
Like if you want to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally using it to get work.
Yeah, but
but
then at the same time, in the exact same breath, I do agree that there is a level of it that's toxic. Like definitely toxic. Like when you start, like I'll put it in a way where I'll put something personal here and there, if that makes sense. Majority of the time, it's either a dancing video, a picture of myself doing a weird thing, making a funny comment about it, or but here and there I'll put a random actual photo that's about my life. But I think there's a lot of people that put too much content that's about their life. Like I know some people where their kids go to school and what time their kid finishes school and what time, purely based on the fact that like they'll post certain pictures at 3:30 p.m. of picking up their child or on their Instagram stories, and then afterwards they have like the school's everything there, and then you're like, okay, cool, your daughter's name is Megan, she finishes school at about 2:30 p.m. you pick her up in this car every single time, your number plate is this, and I see that purely by accident. And I'm like, if anyone was actually trying to get to you, it's not, they don't have to try. They don't have to stalk you. It's just literally looking at your content so I think there's a lot of stuff that's, but I also think, because now someone was saying that like Instagram should get rid of likes.
They have gotten rid of likes in America.
Have they?
Really? You can't see, only the person who posted it can see the likes. So everyone looking at your photo can't see how many likes you get.
Sure. I do think that society will find another way to replace that.
Give that feedback.
Yeah. I think we'll find, like, we'll then go to the number of reposts, or we'll then. So I think that like each person has to look at themselves individually and then go, this is toxic in my life. I recognize it's toxic in my life. I need to stop it and have a cleanse for a while, and then I can come back when I'm fine. But I think that like if you are okay, and if you are stalking people in a weird, not in a weird way, but in just like looking up and catching up with people, then that's you. Another side to look at it from a business point of view, how amazing is it for people like Mark Zuckerberg who have created, or they bought Instagram, but you've created an app that now it's like a, how do I put it? It's like the engine garage or BP for a car. The world now revolves around the app. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like you create something so big, so incredibly huge, that now people are asking you to modify it so that their lives can be better. But it's still your. So imagine right now this podcast, that it got so big that people will go, hey guys, we need more of this so that we can feel like this. But then the question still comes to you to create That, like, business-wise, that is
huge.
That is huge.
Yeah. It's actually true. I don't know when last I've heard someone speak about how big Instagram is.
But think about how easy it was for me to communicate with Hope. We didn't call once. I don't have your number.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, be at 7. /6.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it is. But yeah, no, it's crazy to basically have like a phone directory of
And
everyone in the world.
You
on your Yellow
sent me.
page.
You sent me the address on Instagram.
Yeah.
I didn't go out of Instagram. I just clicked on it, and then that opened Google Maps.
Yeah.
So from Instagram, it fully opened Google Maps, and then I just drove here, followed Google Maps.
It was
and
that easy.
Literally that easy.
Bro, we always get into these like technology super deep. We were speaking about cyborgs in
our first episode. But
Yeah.
it went south in like 2 minutes. All of a sudden, we were all three like, whoa, this is really weird.
So obviously you've got the academy that you're doing. I don't know if you want to speak about that, and I don't know if you want to speak about your big plan, if that's public information yet.
Well, yeah, there are some things I can share, some things are still in the pipeline, so I can't share them yet. But essentially, the idea altogether came after. So I travel a lot, and when I travel, I see different studios. I see different ways that dance studios are handling themselves, and like I gather information from like New Zealand, Zimbabwe, South Africa itself, like wherever it is that I go to. And I've always wanted to create something that I felt had a touch of every country that I go to. And I really feel like the Academy is that. I really, really do. Like in Singapore, they go really outside of the box with what they do in the classes. So like I've brought a touch of that with the stuff we do in the classroom. Like in, say for example, like Zimbabwe, their passion is so wild. So like I make sure that everything we do is like as passionate. In Poland, they do separate things. In Czech Republic, they do separate things. In France, they do separate things. So like I've tried to bring a touch of that. So the smallest things that I see, like for example, in Sweden, almost like every single studio has, you know, the iPhone converter, where the aux cable goes into the converter that goes into the phone. Every single place in Sweden has that attached to the aux cable. So it's things like that where you'll see it. So they have a converter attached to a normal aux cable. So no teacher has to bring a converter. It's all attached. And it's just like small things like that where you see them in this country, you see them in this country, and then afterwards you bring them to your country and then try expand the mindset of your country. So that's pretty much what the whole vision of the Academy is, trying to expand the mindset of South African dancers.
And like, if you guys don't know exactly what the Academy is, it's basically a company that you head up, call it CEO, and basically just give out dance classes and workshops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take it sort of like global, like what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Where haven't you been in the world?
I haven't been to America.
Sure.
Never been to America. And
go to NYC.
Yeah, strange enough. And I got this from like a huge mentor in my life. His name is Alan Committee. Literally one of the funniest MCs that I've ever met in my life. He is an MC, a comedian, a director, a writer. He does it all, literally. And he, when I was, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, like he really spent a lot of time with me all the time. Like we'd have coffee, we'd have drinks, and like I'd be in a few of his shows, and it was really cool. And he gave me the speech where he was like, he never had the American dream. It's just, and I was like, but why? Everybody wants to go to America, because if you make it in America, you make it everywhere. And he was like, there are horrible shows in America. There are great shows in America. There are horrible shows in South Africa. There are great shows in South Africa. There are great actors in America. There are bad actors in America. There are vice versa. So it's just like, and also America is such a fluctuated market. Like if everything is intensified there. And he was like, rather focus on making it in your hub, making it in your own space, and then taking that to go to America, as opposed to going to America when you're still rising and then fighting with everyone else that's rising. So yeah, so since then it just clicked to me. I never really,
to me it doesn't really seem sustainable, the amount of people flooding into the USA all for similar reasons, you know. And a lot of them, it's like, it seems to be, you know, who am I to say anything? But like, it seems to be that they just want to be an influencer of some sort. I mean,
but in America, and that's what I think is the problem.
It doesn't make sense. How do you think? If anything, you're just worsening your odds by going there.
Yeah, people will say, "I want to dance in America," and I'm like, "But
why?
Why? And then, oh no, because that's the dream." And I'm like, why is that
Because Broadway.
the dream?
It's just
yeah.
amazing.
But then I'm like, I understand when people say, I want to create good art. There's another huge inspiration of mine. His name is Jonathan Roxburgh, and he creates, like, he's one of the best musical theatre people that I've ever seen in my life. He is amazing, like a great actor, a great singer, and he's just out of this world. And he is amazing around the world, and I haven't seen him on a Broadway show, but he is of the level of a Broadway show. But it's just like, when people want to create good art, then I understand. When people want to create good art only in America, then I'm always confused. I'm just like, but why necessarily America as opposed to, I want to be a great actor? No, I want to be a great actor in America. And I'm like, but why?
So is that your passion, to create good art?
Good art, that's literally the goal. Like, I just want to create the type of art that makes you question. Yeah, because I think that we are all, as people, we coast so easily. It's so easy to coast. It's so easy to just chill, go through your mundane, then you reach 45, 50 and go, oh my gosh, I didn't do this with my life, oh my word. And I'm like, yeah, but you knew in the back of your brain that you were coasting. You knew. It doesn't spring up on you that oh my gosh, I haven't done it. You mean? And it's just like, I went through a stage about like 2 years ago where I would speak to, and it was an uncomfortable conversation, but whenever I was with anyone that was older than me, I would ask them, do you feel like you've done everything in your life that you wanted to do? And the majority of the time the answer was no. And then I was like, and I told them, I'm trying to make sure that I do everything. Can you help me? Tell me what you wanted to do. And then they'll tell me what they wanted to do, and then they'll say, oh no, but like I either got married too young, or I either had kids too young, or I had to pay the bills at this age, I had to do this, I had to do that. And I'm like, how do I put it? I'm constantly surrounded by my people. My people are all 13, 14 to about 21, 22. And they're in that gap of their life where I know that like I can influence the way I was influenced by Alan Committee, by like so many people that influenced me when I was that age. And I have this mindset because I was mentored to have this mindset. I didn't stumble upon this mindset. And if the people are with me can understand that they can reach everything they want to reach if they don't coast. If they don't go, okay, I'm kind of coasting, that's fine. And then they reach that 45, 50 year age group and then they go, oh my gosh, I haven't done it. And I'm like, yeah, but did you try? And failing is okay. Failing is not a bad thing. Yeah. But as long as you try.
What was the main thing that they wished they had done?
A lot. It's all different. And a lot of it is artistic.
Okay.
A lot of it's artistic.
But I feel like there's that stigma behind creativity where it's like
no money in it.
No money, and also it's like frowned upon. Like, is that really a career sort of
thing? But put it to you this way: we're living in I'll place money on this. In about 10 years' time, there won't be any more offices. Guaranteed.
10 years.
10 years' time. 5 or 10 years' time. Between there. I don't think corporations will hire these big places where you'll have offices. I think corporations will get to a stage where they buy you a laptop and then you work from home with everything you do, because then that saves them rent on a huge ass building, and then they can just monitor you. Because I saw this app called Monday.com that literally monitors. So if you have Monday.com, you monitor what your team is doing and the tasks they're doing, and you can monitor that from anywhere in the world. And I think corporations are going to get to that place. And I'm also finding that you go to an establishment where you study hypothetically something that's mainstream. So you study engineering, you study this, you study that, and then you leave and you have that degree. Yet I know so many people that have that degree and are still unemployed, have that degree and are still searching for work and struggling for work. Why? Because people are now looking for specialized people as opposed to generalized people. Yeah. So to be in a room where there's 30 of you get the exact same degree, 30 of you have the exact same knowledge, yet one of you was mentored by someone who was great, and then that one of you sticks out. Companies are fighting over that one person. And when companies don't get that one person, then search for another one person. They don't settle and go, okay, well, we'll take this person because they're kind of the second option.
Yeah. But I think also, in that regard, it's important to diversify yourself.
Definitely.
So not do one thing like
Definitely.
I mean, I think that's also a reason we're doing this podcast is I sat them down and I was like, boys, listen, we have 1 to 2 years left of not having to support ourselves.
Yeah.
No responsibilities.
Yeah.
Let's just send it, see what happens.
Let's
work hard. Let's go and
try something new.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
that's really the key. Like the key is to just like go. I have this much time of, I call it cushion time, where like your parents can still cushion you out. You know what I mean? Like, so if you fall, it's not. So if you learn how to like monetize your idea or whatever it is during your cushion time, that sets you up when it's time for you to leave. Because every failure doesn't mean that you're going home to an empty stomach or an empty fridge or an empty bed or or paying the rent. Every failure means, okay, cool, it didn't work. I've still got this cushion time. That's why, like, I enjoy everybody between the age of like 18 to 21 that's trying all these new ideas, trying all these new things, as opposed to like just going to study for the sake of studying. I've seen people go, I'm going to go study business, and I'm like, why? Because
I need a degree.
Yeah, and if you're passionate about business, I get it. For sure, I get it. Go do the thing. But if you're studying business just to study business, I'm like, but there are lots of people with a business degree that don't have anywhere because they haven't started.
But it all comes down to that coasting you were speaking about. I feel like this generation, in our generation, what are we, Z?
Yeah.
Generation
No,
Z?
no, we're not.
Whatever we are. Millennials, it is.
Yeah.
We're quite lazy because of social media.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, not a lot of people work hard, like, go above and beyond. So there's definitely that little gap that if you push yourself and you work that harder than everyone else in the room, you will make it.
Literally. Like, and there's this thing,
I mean, you're proof of that. Like, you only started dancing at 18.
Stop. Thank you. But like, in the olden days of like Fred Astaire and those kind of people, it wasn't just hard work. So like, in the olden days where everybody in the room was pushing, you had to work hard and be absolutely amazing to succeed. Do you know what I mean? But like, in nowadays, people are just super chilled. So all you have to do to succeed is just work hard. Like, if you simply just work hard and consistently work hard, not even when you feel like it, but when you don't feel like it also, then I think that like success is literally a matter of time.
And they say that there's that quote that goes, you overestimate what you can do in a day, but you underestimate how much you can do over a year with like consistently doing something every day.
Every day.
You know? So let's just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, but I wish everyone had that mindset. I really, really do.
Can you share that, you know, you must have that name of that thing, that whole mentality about not saying it. I don't know if you want to... Like,
I
found that very, very cool.
Yeah. So I'm in the process of starting this incredible school, which is like my idea and everything. I can't share too much about the details because there are certain things within it that will make it different to everyone else. Okay. The name of the school is called HSA, and anyone else can say it. Like, I'll write it down for you and you can say it. I don't mind. But for me personally, I don't want to say it because I want to have. I get so excited every time I think about this. So on the building of the school, I want to have a huge sign, and that sign will be spelled out, the HSA. And in that moment, I just want to breathe that out and say those words full scale. So I'm working hard now. I'm putting in all the hours. Like, I do everything. All lines lead to this. Every single piece of effort I have leads to this, so that I can put that huge ass sign on the wall and just go, the ho 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 ho. Yeah. And then in that moment I will say that out loud, and that's my reward to myself for the crazy amount of hours.
So that's what's like you're working towards that.
Yeah, it's a reward that I've given. Yeah, and I find that like that's how I don't know. Like I find like I did this thing recently, a class where I got this friend of mine, Dylan Pereira, who a great like editor, who had this two versions of me on a screen.
Dylan dance with Chlone.
No, that's a different Dylan. No, that's Dylan in Joburg. This Dylan of mine is in Cape Town. He's from Cape Town. So we brought him down, and then we did this thing. This class was called You versus You. And I think that, like, I generally always like to put, for my own life, I like to put the control in myself so that I know that if I failed, I failed. Mm-hmm. Like, I just don't like the idea of putting anything in anyone else's hand and then I'm waiting to see if they are going to grant me the opportunity to push forward, or if they're going to go, I'm clipping your wings. Yeah. So with that, like, the reward is me saying the full thing out, but that's given to me by me, if that makes sense. So no one else has control over that reward except for...
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Except for the hours that you put
in. So it's all determined on how much I do in order to push for that success. I'm not pointing a finger and going, well, this guy took it away from me because they did this or this. Same as like the hater stuff we were talking about. Like I listen to these self tapes which are really, really good, and they're always right now. Like I'm listening to self tape about haters. It's not really a self tape. I just type it on Google, on YouTube. I type in haters motivation, or if I want patience, I'll type in patience motivation, and then while I'm brushing my teeth, while I'm showering, I just listen to that in the background, and it goes into my subconscious. So I'm pretty cool. So like I type in like haters motivation, and then this guy called TD Jakes is really, really good. He always goes like, they actually the hate doesn't exist. You created in your brain. Like, because it's just words that are thrown at you, so it's never like, obviously if someone comes at you and stabs you, that's blood, yeah, real, that's solidly real, but like it's in your mind. Like someone says something and then you react to it in your mind, so it's not really real.
So the way you react to everything is the most important thing.
Literally, because it's just like some people will just never stop. There are people that will, especially like when you guys get bigger, and I say when because this will get bigger, you are going to get so much hate. And when the time, but the thing is like when that time comes, it's purely how you react to it. They're going to send you things like, oh no, but you're not doing this. Oh no, but you are. No. Oh my gosh, I saw you did this. How can there be 3 of you? There should be only blah, blah, blah. Or do you know what I mean? And you'll bring in a guest and be like, oh no, well we had that guest last year, so how dare you bring that guest in? And they'll find algorithms in their brain to come at you. And you want to be like, with the same intelligence you use to say these things, you could just do something else with your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like with the same, but then when they do that, it's on the 3 of you to go, yo, as long as the 3 of us, as long as we're good, there's nothing else that anyone can throw at us. That mindset of like, they're coming at us, but we're solid and we don't need to actually react to that.
It's also funny because it's like, they think they are disturbing you by doing this, but if anything, they're just wasting their own time and like giving you that time. Yeah. So like on a video of ours, for example, they would be just giving us those that extra 40 minutes where they were making fun of us and we just took the 40 minutes. Thank you very much. We'll take that. Are you done now? You want to watch another one? What's up?
Sometimes you must agree with them. Be like, yeah, I totally agree. Let me know what you think of the next one. I want to agree with you again. Just let me know what you think of the next one.
You guys should definitely get a studio. This is so rubbish.
Like, oh,
really?
Man.
Where do you suggest we get it? Check out the next one. We'll find you. Idiot.
So obviously you were in the Singing in the Rain musical. And you guys were in Singapore. You guys traveled all over.
Yeah, that was a whole year contract.
So I just want to kind of get a bit of the behind the scenes of like what goes into creating a musical.
Oh man,
did you have the lead as well?
No, don't do that. I didn't have the lead. The lead is like no. I didn't have the lead. This is another thing where it comes down to social media. On social media, these tours look beautiful. Like you're getting on a plane, you're out there, you're doing the thing. The travel hits you hard, like hard. A year
of traveling.
I can't remember exactly how many cities, but it was. But within a country, there's like lots of cities. Yeah. So it's like it was Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, Johannesburg, Cape Town. Oh, that's South Africa. So that's 2. And then for the next few, I think we went to Taiwan. But then within that, you travel. And like, it hits you hard. And having this... It's awesome for the first like 5-6 months. We're like, yeah. But then like month 7...
Then it's work.
It hits you. And then you're like, aha. And like, the rain comes down on stage. And in the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh. And then after month 4, you're like, oh my gosh. like after a while, you're like, it's raining on stage. And I have to just act like I'm happy. Like I'm doing the thing.
But so would you say that's a bit of a test of how much you really love what you do?
Yeah. And also, and actually, like, this is a great topic to talk about. Like the topic of like either dropping something or moving away from something, and then it being seen as a failure. So I studied musical theatre at Waterfront Theatre School, and this is what I wanted to do. So straight after Waterfront Theatre School, I I went on Singing in the Rain, and then afterwards I did Annie the musical in South Africa, and afterwards I did Evita, another tour, and that was a year. And then after those 3 musicals back to back, I decided to take a step away from the musical theatre world. And a lot of people were like, "What are you doing? You are in a groove. You're in a thing. You're being booked. Like, why would you leave?" And like, I had a few offers for other musicals, and I was like, I have an idea. The idea was the Academy Essay, but the Academy Essay at that time was just an idea. I said, I have an idea, and I want to do that idea, and I want to flourish within that idea, as opposed to flourishing within just the musical theatre world. And it was kind of seen as dropping out, in the same way that when you're studying, I don't know, whatever, and then you go, I actually want to do this, so I'm going to leave this, but then everyone's like, no, finish it, spend 2 more years, finish it. And like those 2 years, you just never get them back sometimes. So like it comes down to like the musicals were something that I had in my trajectory when I was studying. So I knew that's what I wanted to do. I went to college for that. And then when I had that in the palm of my hands and I could have carried on with it, it just didn't feel like I was flourishing, like I was thriving. And I was publicly it looked great. Like on social media, it looked like I was doing like amazing things and doing great things, but internally I knew that like I'm not in my actual element, and I'm not in my real, I don't know what to say. It's
well, I have a point with that. Like I can understand what you're saying, because I feel like if you really want to discover what you want to do, you got to put yourself in that situation where like the thing you are doing at that moment, you're okay with it, but it's not the best, and all the time you spend doing that is going to actually make you realize what you want to pursue, where you want to go. Yeah. So say you're scrubbing dishes in the kitchen. Whilst you're scrubbing those dishes, you're going to be like, how could I be using my time
now
for myself? What do I want to actually be doing now instead of this? And that makes you realize, oh, this is what I want to pursue. So like I can understand that, and that's actually like, it's a very profound way of like building your career and moving forward.
Which is like, I really... It's difficult because there are so many people in the age group of 18, 19 right now that are just thinking to themselves, do I study? Do I work? Do I take a gap year? Do I study? Do I work? Do I take a gap year? And that's a huge... Like I know so many people that are freaking out, like crying, having hysteria, like freaking out. And I almost want to just shake them and be like, what are you passionate about? Just follow that, because once you commit yourself to a 2-year economics course that your dad or your mom or your aunt, do you know what I mean? Or like, once you start following a vision that someone else has laid out for you, you're going to reach 22, 23, turn around and be like, I've wasted 4 years of my life, 4 solid years of my life. And like, I can't describe how I have friends right now. Like, I have friends now that are just completely starting a new life right now. And then now they're starting to not necessarily only choreograph, but now they're starting to like become a choreographer, or now they're starting to want to do dance. Now they're starting to, and then they message me like, hey, how can you help? And I'm like, we went to college together. Like, we should have been thriving if you just, like, do you know what I mean? It's just, I just want to shout at them and be like...
I think, like a lot of people, especially for me, like, I didn't know what my passion was for a long time. So when... I don't know, some people, like, I also didn't know that I want to take a gap year, I didn't want to study. I eventually studied, then changed my degree. Yeah. And now I'm still like, is it really what I want to do? Yeah. So I think that's why we're doing this whole podcast thing and stuff. We're just like, come on. Like what Zans was saying, try something. If you don't like it, at least you don't know. You know you don't like it. Yeah. So you can do something else.
And it also takes a long time to figure life out. I know a lot of people that still don't have life figured out. I think that, like, a lot of people just think that I should have it figured out when I leave school, but it takes a long time to figure this whole thing called life out.
You got to find your lane, and it doesn't always happen quickly.
Yeah, but as long as you're chasing, as long as you're chasing what you believe is the next right thing. Yeah.
Boys, I think we move into mental health with Zanza. It's a segment we got going. Where he reads a quote out of this book at the end of every podcast.
This is what I gifted to the podcast.
Come on.
Shit happens, so get over it.
Come on.
What are we on now? Number 4, eh?
To be dead honest, I don't know where
it's the 4th one.
Yeah, okay, sweet. Okay, nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending.
But this is always
that
so
sounds
relevant.
very familiar, though. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've done that one.
Is it the 4th one?
Well, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's the fourth.
Yeah. Then it is, bro.
Very relevant.
But yeah.
One more question for Hope.
Yeah.
So I think I watched it sounds ridiculous. I watched a documentary on Elon Musk on the stage. Maybe a year or two ago, I can't remember. But he made a big thing about coffee and caffeine being one of the main ways that he has these insane hours. I mean, he works a ridiculous amount of hours every week.
You know, he doesn't take his phone calls.
Why?
He doesn't have time to take his phone calls.
Yeah.
His
Well, I
assistant
can't even imagine.
Takes his phone calls.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
I need that in my life.
But would you say that coffee is something that helps you with your productivity? Obviously, you need to be, because of the type of things that you do and with your traveling, you have to be a very productive person. And if you're wasting time, it's just completely bad for what you have planned. How do you keep that going? And
I just enjoy coffee. I wouldn't say that it helps me, but I really, really enjoy it. I think people help me. Like, I think that I have literally, I have a Leander bond. That's my, everybody in their life. Yeah, do you watch Suits?
yes.
You know Donna?
Yeah.
Leander is another level.
Oh, really?
Okay. Leander, like, you need to get yourself a Leander bond. Like, that's, yeah.
So those people really exist.
Yeah, like I have like Adriana Patwashinska, I have Leander Bond. Like I have good people around me that are totally supportive of that are die hard supportive. But like, and also like Diane Payne. Like, it's just, you know, those kind of people that want nothing back from you but to see the entire vision come to life. Yeah. So you explain the entire vision to them and they go, I will do what I can to make this vision come to life. And it's just those people, if you can, I think that in life we probably find about 3 or 4 of them. Also like Pierre Murray, Vuyo Sasashe, like it's like we find 3 or 4 of them and then you've just got to like
listen to them,
hang on to them, because they are your people, solidly your people. And sometimes they don't agree with you. Yeah. Sometimes they ask you the tough questions to be like, do you think you're maximizing your time? Do you think you should be? Because sometimes I get petty, like I do. Like sometimes, like people will do things to me, and I want to respond like this, and then they'll be like, "Do you really think that's the best response?" So, which is good, because you need those kind of people in your life. But
you can't just have yes men.
Yeah, but they hit you with the tough questions.
And these two as well, yeah.
Yeah. No, the number of things Jord has pitched at Zander and I, and sometimes just me, and sometimes just Zander. Where we kind of looked at him and go, no. Yeah. Like, I'm not being a part of that. If you really need to try, do that, go for it. But I think this podcast was the first thing where Zander and I we'll do it. That sounds insane. Solid. And then what were you expecting in terms of the setup and everything?
I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect.
Had no idea.
I just came in blind.
Malcolm loves to ask this question.
Yeah, it's my favorite question.
No, but I think that I think it's solid. I think you guys are at a solid place, and I think you're doing a good thing. Just like keep doing it, because like consistency is the key. Literally, people need to be, when people check you out, they need to see like 40, 45 like solid things. You know what I mean? Like where you're consistently producing that quality, and like you're quite open with the way you're doing it. Even like your introduction, where you're like, I'm not feeling good. That's solid. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's solid honesty, which is really, really good. I think people will connect to that. So
I think that was the big thing for us, being like authentic, not lying to our audience. Like, what does Logan Paul say? He says, if you're authentic on the internet, if you have a good personality, like, it'll work. But if you don't have a good personality, then you need to change your personality. Yeah. So as long as you're just authentic, and I think that's why you're also so popular as well, because you're very, very open, very honest, which is a good thing. But Joe, I think we wrap it up. Do you want to share your socials? Where can people find you?
Here we go. Listen carefully. I'm joking. I am Hope from Africa on Instagram. I am Hope My Money on Facebook, and those are the only 2 that I. Do you guys use Twitter?
No, I want to get into
Yo,
But you can drop your Twitter.
I don't have J Light. Wait, no, I think it's Hope from Africa also. yeah. And actually, Hope from Africa came up because when I was in Europe, they would always be like, "You have a funny accent. Where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from Africa." And then they're like, "Oh, Hope from Africa." And then that conversation happened many times, and I was like, "Okay,
it has to be done."
I'll just claim it.
Anything coming up with the Academy, a workshop?
We have our audition coming up on the 20th of October. Now.
Hope this goes live by then. Will it? I don't think so.
Well, if you missed it, shame on you. Shame on you. You've been 2 gifts.
But Joe, thanks for coming out. Thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Just subscribe. Just hit the button, or just put a hateful comment in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hope, thanks again. Thanks, boys. It was lekker.
Thank you very much.
Lekker.
Peace.
Yes. Thank you.